Hey folks, thanks for visiting the channel again. This is a continuation on the Maggio studies. Just a little disclaimer again, I am by no means the foremost um, studier, purveyor, or I don't know, most clued up on Maggio, whatever you want to call it. This is like a kind of journey of my own, learning through the process, etc. So all comments, critical, positive, negative, whatever, all very, very, very welcome. But more than anything, what I wanted to demonstrate was pretty much my findings of using Maggio, how they've helped me, and hopefully how that can help you as well. So we've already looked at warm up A and lesson one. There was recently I posted a video covering warm up B and lesson two. Now, in the first section of Maggio, warm up A has three lessons, so there's lesson one, three, and five, and warm up B has two lessons essentially, warm up two and four. They do cross over a little bit more, and this brings me on to lesson three. Um, in the literature for this, if you do have the PDF, the form of the lesson starts off on our bottom C, G, E, down to our bottom C, and then it's a double arpeggio back up to our top C, or third space C rather, and it slurs up a semitone to our C sharp. So it's quite similar to warm up lesson two from warm up B in that we start ascending more than one octave. With this one as well, the literature actually states that we can slur the full passage to get used to this transition. It can be quite tricky, and I'll put my hand up as well. I still find it quite tricky to transition from tonguing all the way down to a pedal C and back up. So sometimes I might actually have two or three or four attempts at this to try and get the nice smooth transition all the way through. Also, it doesn't say anywhere in this, not that I can find in the material, the supporting material, but a lot of these initial lessons where there's no actual break for a breath written, I find that if I have to stop and snatch a nose breath, then that appears to be okay. It doesn't seem to unsettle what the actual lesson is trying to achieve, and that's the cohesion of our pedal embouchure up throughout our range. The other thing that came up the other day with a good colleague of mine is the relaxed M position, and it being very, very important to all that Maggio tries to teach through these studies. And I think the point of this is that when we are releasing the air through our embouchure, our lips should be in a natural closed state so that they can respond to the air. And I suppose to clarify that a little bit more, if our aperture is too open, then the buzz is ultimately going to have to, or rather, the vibrating surfaces are going to have a certain degree of air happening in a certain way to allow that to happen. And you may find that there will be limits in range, limits in volume and control, and maybe the ability to support and sustain a nice smooth note. And this could also be the same if our embouchure is too tight together. There's going to have to be a certain degree of air to make that vibrating surface, that aperture, do its job and create the buzz and the sound, etc., etc. Now that's still the same. That's going to be the same for a relaxed M position, but there's no tension holding our lips in any other way whatsoever. So we're not keeping our lips open and then hoping they're going to respond to the air, and they're not squashed together. So we have to kind of really, really force that to happen. We always want the corners of our mouth to be controlling basically the seal on either side, but also allowing this area that's on the inside of the mouthpiece to do its job and to respond to the air that's coming at it. Okay. Now, pressure might come into this chat at some point as well, but for now, when we're thinking about our Maggio, we always want to think about this nice, relaxed, closed position. Okay, so here we go. Going to go straight into lesson three. This one's called the tongue. Now, my chops are quite cold today. This room is freezing. I've got my little heater on as well. But when I'm going down to my pedal C, it's not coming out fantastically. I've tried this a couple of times already. I can't get down to the pedal C today, but it's not happening as freely as I'd want to. So I may have to go through the first section of this down to the pedal C for the first time. And I wanted to see what that looks like and what that sounds like as well. Okay, not bad. So I actually worked all right there, but I did have to stop and take a breath. Made sure I didn't disturb my embouchure. Quick breath in through the nose to carry on. Now, when we go from the C to the C sharp, we have to think about our syllable change there. So we're trying to maintain ta, 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 ta when we're doing this descending down into the pedal register. But when we get up to this last couple of notes of this part of this exercise, we're already getting into a syllable change. So taking our time over this ensures that we're going to make sure that the syllable change is happening in a nice controlled manner. What I'll do is I'll do the same exercise now, the exact same one, but I'll do it all slurred. And it's for me it's a little bit easy to control, okay? Okay, so a lot of air needed, a lot of air needed. And this carries on essentially the exact same way until we get to our usual switchover point, which is the F sharp. So once we've done our F and we transition into our F sharp, that's where we're next going to pick up. Okay, so there we've started off, well, we finished off the regular pedal register on our F, then we transitioned into the repeated descending C passage, and that's us on to the F sharp now, going up. So when we're in the F sharp range, that's us going from the ta syllable to the A syllable. I know it looks like I for all the Scottish folk, but A. And then we are now into the T syllable, okay? So trying to take our time and ascending as we go up is really, really, really important. Thankfully now, after descending pedal C with the repeated 3 Cs at the bottom, we get a chance to take a breath in. I've quite liked that because it also gives me a chance to make sure that I'm retaining the corners of my mouth nice and stable and in their correct position and supporting as we go up. Okay, so the next part we're going to do is transitioning, excuse me, transitioning from our T syllable to our tsh syllable. Okay. All right, so there we went from the last of our T syllables, which is the B flat, into the start of the tsh, which is into the B, and now we're going progressing onwards into our top C. So as with everything from Maggio here onwards, trying to maintain our pedal register is again what it's all about, and trying to really take our time as we are ascending through the two octaves when we get to the top, that we are really thinking about the syllables. As we're going higher, we're using less air, so you can maybe even take a little bit more time over it just to try and make sure that you are, I don't know, I suppose for me, the way I describe it is I'm actually physically thinking about, am I making this sound with my mouth? If I was to be speaking without the trumpet, is that what would be coming out of my mouth? Would it be saying T or T or tsh? Okay, so we'll go up into the higher registers, and I believe the exercise changes ever so slightly. Forgot to add, when we get to the end of this little section, which is C, E, G, C, E, G, C, up to our C sharp, there is a prescribed 5 minute break. So go and have a coffee or tea. Okay, hope you had a good cuppa. I also forgot to add, once you've done the ascending to the C sharp, we finish off with the descending pedal C motif with the three repeated Cs down the bottom. This lesson three now continues on pretty much as it has done up to our G. Once we've got to our F sharp G, which is this one, wish me luck. We rest another 5 minutes. Okay, so more tea, more coffee, whatever you need to do for 5 minutes. And then we ascend into the register beyond. But we only do the one octave. So where we finish there with our G is where we start off. So we'll repeat again the pedal C motif. And all we do is just a basic arpeggio. So we start off with G, B, D, G. I think I've got a couple in me, so we'll see what kind of happens here. So this is pretty much the end of the video. Um, let's just see what happens with the range. I'll use myself as a guinea pig to try and reassure you, I suppose, what it sounds like when we're working on our upper register. Lack of practice. I'm going to get all the excuses in just now. Lack of practice, no gigs, yada yada yada. Freezing room. Okay, here we go. Okay, just a couple of things to add in actually. When I am trying to do this, these higher parts of the Maggio exercise, particularly I suppose when I get to the higher two notes, which are usually up there, I always try and think about how relaxed is the grip in my left hand. And the other thing I try and think about is how hard am I blowing? Um, in the Maggio technique, there are numerous references to the sound being small, and that being a good thing. That's fine, that's okay. And it gradually building. So we have to visit this upper register on a regular basis to really maintain that sound and to allow it to grow. But we also have to do all of our other stuff. Okay, so let's carry on. This will be A flats, maybe. And also, you may see me descending into the pedal register with a mouth breath, and I am doing a mouth breath, and this came up in a conversation with somebody else as well. In that, Even though I'm taking a mouth breath, I'm ensuring that I'm getting a good amount of air inside me, but I'm always making sure that my lips are just gently relaxed together when I'm going to start playing that C to descend down. I think that really, really helps ensure that when we do take the nose breath, because we started off with our lips together, down to the pedal register, it ensures that our lips remain gently together as well as we start to ascend. Okay. A, I think. B flat. Right, starting to get to just about. I can feel the sound is wanting to cut off, and it's just really, really making sure that that support there is just find that extra little bit harder. You might see that when I am prepping up, I suppose, the compression or the support, what I do is I'll take a breath in, coming out of the pedal C, and then I'll sit down on it. I'm not actively trying to do any type of technique there. What I'm trying to do is set up a compression, and this is in my mind now. Maybe someone can pick me up on this, tell me I'm doing otherwise. I'm trying to set up a compression in such a way that if I was on a lead gig and I had like a line to do, something similar like this, that I was ready to go. By practicing it slowly and methodically in sections, if I had to come in and like or whatever, a lead note and go ba or ba ba do that that type of thing. Everything's ready to go there, and I want to practice that feeling as well. So it's not just about practicing what comes out the horn. A lot of this for me is actually about really, really trying to practice the performance that would be on the gig, so that every note that comes out is intentional. So I think I've talked enough, Res. There. B. Let's see what happens. A wee bit flat there, but not trying to force it. I'm not trying to squeak it high. I'm trying to let it settle where it is. I'll listen back to this and I'll work out how flat that B was. Was it a B or was it a really sharp B flat? Who knows? Okay. Oh, the other thing about the breath, you got to go and search out. There's a fantastic video. Adam Rapa's talking about it too. Can't remember, and he's talking about having nice, relaxed shoulders, just settling back down, so that our rib cage, and lungs. Should have put the phone on mute. Are really nice and open, and everything is fully connected all the way through. If you want to check out some fantastic breathing ideas and the whole relaxed breath system that Mr. Rapper talks about, I'll try and include the link to this specific video in the description. So I think is this the C? Who knows? Can't remember. Now I know that wasn't a C, and it was probably at best a very, very sharp B, but it's somewhere to revisit. So that's it. That's all for lesson 3 today on Maggio, and next one coming up is going to be lesson 5. And then once I've got those two out of the way, I shall carry on with lesson 4 for warm up B. Okay, I hope you really, really enjoyed this. A little bit of fun at the end there. And yeah, just keep watching. Any comments? I've had some fantastic comments from various people around the world. Oh, on the subject of lessons, I can teach pretty much any evening in the UK. I can prepare lessons for you if you want me to go into specific things for you. I'm including a PayPal Me link. So all this material, everything is going to be free. It keeps me sane, okay? And it's nice to try and share this information with you and hopefully learn some stuff back from you folks as well. The PayPal Me is so that if you are feeling generous, if you think maybe I need to take some trumpet lessons, I can go and take some. But any funds that do come in go exactly into this place here, my little concrete box where I'm trying to always make things sound as easy to listen to as possible. The lights, which I've got really really bad lights just now, the microphones, the instruments, the electricity bill, etc. So that's what that's for. Don't feel obliged whatsoever. The content is always going to be here, and I really appreciate your comments. Like I said, if you want lessons over the internet, let's do that. And even just some comments would be great. So hit the bell icon, subscribe, tell everyone about the channel, and share content away. By all means, I'm not precious. All this stuff is out there anyway. I think I've got a little bit of a monopoly on the Maggio stuff just now. So yeah, so thanks very much for watching, and I hopefully will see some of you in the flesh, maybe on a gig at some point soon. Who knows? Take care, guys. Thanks for watching.